Welcome to another episode of the Militia Madness MTG podcast. Today we're talking about just stuff we've learned, stuff that we're excited about in the future, and just some tips and tricks for what makes our format unique in terms of like deck building, in terms of gameplay, and things like that. Before we get into that, here's Morgan with today's Spotlight.
Yeah, so today I brought a card that hasn't really had much time to be tested in Militia, but I think it has a lot of potential, which I'm bringing Studious First Year. So 1 mana, 1/1 with this creature enters prepared, and then it has literally actually just rampant growth stapled it onto it as its prepared spell. So I compare this card a lot to like Arboreal Grazer, which can be a little bit awkward because Arboreal Grazer's stats are much better generally because an
Mhm.
0/3 reach is actually very good defensively. But with that, you have to have the land ready in your hand. With Studious First Year, it's another like land-based one drop that you can just send out early and then get some value later with, rather than having to like have all of your like one mana, sorry, have all of your 1 mana dorks be based on tapping for mana and have to survive. So like it can actually
Mhm.
just do the thing, get you a permanent advantage, and f off, or potentially
Yeah,
as a 1/1 get buffed up and like do some stuff that way.
yeah, right. I like this card a lot. I actually like it in multicolor decks too because it can get your second color. It can function as mana fixing, which is like really important sometimes in format in certain decks. But yeah, I like that it's a ramp spell that can turn sideways and like attack. I actually like this card more than Arboreal Grazer because it can attack.
Oh yeah.
You can put equipment on it. You can put counters on it. It just facilitates that aggressive plan a lot more. Also, it doesn't like later in the game. Sometimes you draw on a Boreal Grazer, and its ability doesn't matter. That won't happen
Yep.
with this card. So, no, I like this card a lot. I like a lot of the prepared spells. Just to be able to do two things at once is just really good.
Yeah, and I think that's like been pretty true. Like most of like the two at once spells we've seen over the course of this format, being like, oh yeah, the
Yeah.
omens are nice. Oh yeah, the adventures are nice. That kind of
hmm
thing.
Yeah, being able to do two things is just really important and really good. All right. Well, that's now two Secrets of Strixhaven cards we featured on the spotlight. Will we feature another one? Tune in to find out. Um, now we can go to our topic, which is just like an introspective, well, a retrospective look back on things we've learned in the format. Um, so I think one of the things I've definitely learned as like a control player is we talked about this in last podcast, but your deck has to have a plan. Kind of regardless of what you're doing, regardless of your strategy, it has to have a plan. You can't just trade cards efficiently and hope that a 3-3 will win the game. You have to have something to do. You have to
Yeah.
have a win condition in mind.
Yeah, like I think that's been very like shown or very well shown because like if you end up just like spinning your wheels for turns and turns and turns, like trying to get something going, like it can be the death of you. Because I've definitely had like games that we've seen on the channel where it's like, oh yeah, I played like a guy, I got some like card advantage out, and it's like, oh, Hunter has like a full board state, and I only have like one mediocre guy out. I am in a rough
hmm
state.
Yeah. So that's one thing I've definitely learned. I think another thing I've definitely learned is that you got to be utilizing your commander. If you're just playing it because of the colors, you lose out on so much versatility, on so much utility that every other deck has that you're miles behind. You like what you're doing. If like I think the only deck that can do that and just not care is Bant and maybe Quasar. Maybe the three color decks actually can just play colors because getting access to a third color means that yeah now you're doing a little bit more exciting stuff. But if you're in a two color commander deck, that commander has got to be good. You can't just play for the colors.
Yeah, and even more so if you're in a monocolor commander, like your commander has to be
Yeah,
like incredibly relevant to your
yeah.
strategy.
In that case, your commander has to be so good that it's worth giving up a second color.
And have not
I
seen
also
much do that.
Yeah, I also think your commander needs to be better than the commons in your deck, right? Like
Yeah.
this is the one uncommon you get. It's why I think the vanilla commanders are unplayable, or the French vanilla commanders, because we have a couple of those. I think they're terrible because they are not as good as the cards in your deck.
Oh yeah, like it's effectively like being like, hey, you have the range of anything to play with, and like you can build a cool strategy around, and being like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take a brick. It's like, no,
Yeah,
no.
no, yeah. You get one uncommon card. One. In your entire 60. You get, well, maybe you get two. You get one or two. You need to make sure that they are appropriately power leveled at uncommon. If you're just a pauper deck but worse, like you're thousands of leagues behind everyone else, literally everyone else. I had that problem when I built oh, I can't remember what it was. Early on when I was building decks, I came to that conclusion of I can't be a regular pauper deck singleton but worse.
Yeah, like
I need.
I think one of my like big conclusions that was like the original Torwaki is like it initially felt good to be like that, but then I was like, oh wait, no, my commander costs so much that I'm basically just playing burn without a commander 90% of the time.
Yeah, yeah. No, now when Torwaki comes into play,
Yeah,
I think that's an issue of. I think the commander is good. I think the deck you built around it is not
yeah, I think you
a
shouldn't
Torwaki deck.
play hard burn as like Torwaki's thing. I think maybe focus more on like the ping effect specifically and carving out more. Also, I think this can get into like a different like thing. The learning format is like play more lands.
Yeah,
Frick. I spent too
yeah,
long playing like what would be like a traditional like pauper land count a lot of the time nowadays because
yeah.
they
Like
are like 18 lands or so, and it's like, oh wait a minute, this is because they have like a lot of consistency otherwise. We probably should
20,
be in like the 20 to 23 lands.
20 at least. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I keep finding myself doing that. Like now. I find myself doing it now. Um
yeah, and like
like I just went back and I think uploaded Cynet to have 20 lands. But oh my god, you were like the oh, I'm reminded of people in like the command zone talking about play 35 lands, you maniacs.
yeah, it's like
Like
I generally like put 36 into my commander decks and like
because you're a good Magic player.
yeah,
But I think yeah, that's the thing that I've definitely learned from this format as well is like I don't care if you have two land cyclers and crop rotation and open the no 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 no
yeah.
no no no. Like even my blue green decks that have all the land search in the world, I'm on 20 lands.
Yeah, and like I
Like
think especially with those like cyclers is like those should not be your way to get up to a passable land count. They should be your additional ones once you're at a passable land count and you just need a small
yes,
step extra. So it's like, oh, I'm at 19 to 21. Okay, I'll throw a couple land cyclers and feel like I'm running 22 to 23.
yeah, 20 is the minimum. Start there.
Yep.
Don't cut. Start there. And I think you should end at like 22, 20, 25 is like probably the upper limit.
Yeah, like if you're on a land
But
heavy deck, like that kind of thing. Because let me see
mhm.
what Bralios is. Yeah, Bralios is actually only on 22 lands, but like it could probably be more.
Yeah, let me check my Cynet deck. But yeah, no, you are
But also I built Bralios early and I'm not updated as much as I should have.
you are 100% correct. Play more lands. That's it. That if you learn nothing from this podcast,
Look at the no land games and think about like, oh wait a
play.
minute, gotta play the Magic.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh man.
Yeah, no. Cynet has. Let me really quickly check. Cynet has a total of 18, but
Okay.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah. Quite possibly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on a bunch of ones and twos, but yeah, no, no, that's incorrect. 18 with yeah, no, it should be 20. but it's on 18 right now. But no, even like aggro decks, toy lands, start there. Be
Yep.
smart. Be better than me. Love of God. But that's a good trick. And um, I think another one that I have in general is removal is precious. Don't waste it.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
don't bolt an augur of bolus if you can avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, especially if it's like, yeah, like you can perfectly remove that creature, but it's not actually putting any pressure on you. So what's the point in removing it? Is like a big like
Mm-hmm.
Magic strategy to like take to heart.
You will have less removal spells in your deck than the average pauper deck does by
Hmm.
a pretty wide margin.
Or at least less quality removal spells, because like you might be able to like hit the number, but it's gonna be half of them
If
are
you're
only gonna be
hitting
effective on like half the creatures that they normally would.
Yeah, if you're hitting 8, you're either in red because red can do it if you're playing shocks, uh, or you're playing some questionable
Yeah,
cards.
because like we saw me on Ennis, like what I did was I put in like a bunch of O rings and stuff like that, which like got me to the number, but like it's like now I'm paying 3 mana to get all my hard removal.
And your removal is worse because they can heritage reclamation and get
Yeah.
like yeah the quality lightning bolt type removals you're not going to be able to play 8 of. But yeah, also play more removal. You cannot play in order for it to matter. I think you need to be on 4 of an effect to see it.
Yeah. Or
You know.
at least 3 to feel like okay about it is like what I would say. But like if you want to like have it as a consistent part of your strategy, 4 to 6 is like where you want to be on like a lot of that kind of stuff. And like when I say going up to 6 is like that can be like a little bit more like generous and like what we want from the effect being like okay, I'll add in like a couple of like shocks that are occasionally like creature bolts to like get to that number of bolts. Like okay, yeah, I'll put in
Mhm.
frostbite with my snowlands and fiery impulse with my spells, and that'll kind of count.
Yeah. Um, I think the other thing I've learned before we go into more specific stuff is synergize, synergy. Um, the all-on aggro decks, the all-in control decks are just worse because the fact that you have access to a commander every game matters. Utilize that,
Yep.
right? So there's that.
Yeah,
I
because
forget
that's
the last
actually
thing I
like
was.
where we saw like a good regular power deck get taken to the extreme with like the early stuff of what's it called? Why can't I remember his name? Dargo. Because it was like, oh yeah, this just immediately gives this deck that would with Singleton a lot of times kind of fizzle out, base almost equivalent to sustained like how it could like play in like regular popper with just like pulling stuff out and constantly refilling.
It's why it's banned.
Yep.
Dargo, yeah, Dargo in testing. Morgan and I before Militia Madness even existed, did some tested. We're introduced to this format through a friend of ours. I don't know if I've ever told the story, but a friend of ours named Christian came to us with this idea for a format, and we were like, "Sure, let's test it." And then I fell in love because it really is a Brewers format. There are so many commanders you can play and so many different strategies. And we played it at a game night, and Morgan crushed me like 6 games in a row with
Yeah.
Dargo.
It
Something
was
ridiculous. Like it
nuts.
wasn't even close, and games were not close, and it was a freaking problem. So that is why Dargo is banned. Rest in piss. That card is so dumb.
Yeah, we at least got to see it once
Um,
on the channel with the no ban list week, which was fun.
and it was stupid, and the games weren't even close. And
But it proved a point,
yeah,
and that's what it needed to do.
yeah, yeah. I also played a band commander in that format,
Oh yeah,
and it wasn't
initiative.
close, and it was stupid. And then I
Yeah. The funny thing is, when we like initially did the pitch for that week, we both wanted to build like an initiative deck. I was gonna play blue green initiative, but then I was like, okay, I'll
Mhm.
I'll build something different because of that.
Yeah. I'm glad we went with Dargo because I think that's a card that people look at the ban list and might go, really? And it's like, yes.
Yeah, it's like we saw the results of this. We didn't choose it randomly.
No, it's like that was as much playtesting as we did was Dargo was stupid. Um so dumb. Yeah, I think that's good of like initial thoughts. another question or another something that we can like look back on is like I think our best and worst decks. And let's start with the worst and how we can improve them. And I'll go first because I have a couple.
I know what mine
Um,
is.
Early on, I think the pit trap I fell into with stuff like um, uh, Cormella and Omega in particular is I didn't have a game plan, and I think Omega needed more fogs because there were certain ones that I wasn't on that I just needed to be on.
Yeah, because I know
But I think the
Tangle
other
was one that
thing,
stood out to me.
Tangle I was not on, needed to be on that. And the other thing is, I think Omega works. I think that was just a really, really terrible matchup in particular.
Yeah.
Because you can sit and do nothing and then combo kill me out of nowhere. Uh, and I don't really have an answer to that. Uh, the other thing I learned is, like I said, you got to come in with a game plan, and you got to be streamlined, and you got to play more lands. Um, yeah, looking back on a lot of the other things, I played Furja, and I think that deck just needs more fine tuning. Um, every green blue deck I think I've ever played has been the same green blue deck, and I think I just need to go back on the drawing board on my Simic decks,
Yeah.
and just be doing something else. I just don't think what I'm doing is really working. Apart from that, everything that I've played just needs to be on 20 lands and needs to have a defined way that they're ending the game. I think is what I've learned. And if I could go back, I would definitely change Cormella. I'd play more win conditions in Cormella, and I think I would definitely change Omega around a lot to have more ways of coming back into the game.
Yeah. God. Sorry, Cormella did
Yeah.
just remind me that I'm still super tempted to build like a Cormella Storm deck. It would be so rough just because it's kind of barely there, but it just seems interesting.
I actually did want to keep that thought in mind because I did want to pitch something to you.
Okay. Cool.
Um, read into that if you want, audience, but you'll never know until you do or you don't. But what decks do you think Master Paku weren't very good? Master Paku.
Yeah, Master Paku was fucking
Paku.
awful. Which I think was the opposite of like what you were saying about like this problems you saw is not having enough of a game plan. Master Paku cooked too hard on his game plan. It went so far into like the mill stuff and like trying to be cheeky that it left out room to actually just be a good deck.
Yeah, you didn't. You were like, I really should have a game plan. Let me play no interaction whatsoever
Yeah,
and the most
I had
interactive color.
some. It was just
Nowhere
was
near
rough.
enough.
Yeah.
Also, I think you should have been in black as
Oh yeah,
well.
like
I
I probably
think
should
that
have just been playing. I think it was Hums, like, not Hamza. I can't remember what her name is.
Alma, right?
Hama.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think it was worth cutting the second color. I also don't think it was worth cutting like 9/10 of your interaction. I also like no, that was the biggest Morgan hiccup I think we've ever seen in the channel and will ever see in the channel. No, that was the most one-sided game. I think in that episode I offered you a salty game 3 and you didn't take it.
Yeah, well, it was just like I think that deck could have done fine into like a more controlling or like slower mid-range deck because it did have some answers. It just did not have enough answers for anything remotely aggressive. Because like
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I put in like I don't know, like maybe 8 counter spells and like 4 of the enchantments that like stop something, and I was like that might be good enough to like hold off enough to get some butts on board. But no,
Spoiler
it was
alert.
not.
It was not. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
because I just
That
thought it would be fun to have like the more cheeky, like, oh, I can do like the tap untap mill, which is like the freed from the real like plan, which is fun because I believe before we, yeah, I was looking up before we did the Teamer Walls thing, and I kind of like, I like that idea of like a win con in a deck, and I just wanted to try to make it work with what we had, and it was not there.
no, you needed to be more interactive than you were for sure. And also,
Oh,
you should have been in black. There's just a lot of things that Master Paku just did not level up on.
yeah,
uh,
we
in
don't talk
terms
about
of
him.
like, yeah. Uh, in terms of things we've learned from this format or like decks that we think we built really, really well. I'm really, really proud of my Green Goblin deck and my Neutrinos deck. Those two um really like I was like when I made Green Goblin, it was like something clicked. And I was like, I get this format now. I understand. I thought I did. I didn't. Now I get it. Um, and I really, really like playing those decks. Those are probably my like if there were a militia tournament tomorrow, I would play. I'd probably play Neutrinos. To be real with you,
Yeah.
I just love that deck.
Yeah, like I think it honestly does suit you very well. Like it seemed like you were enjoying it, like because you get the aggression, like mid range stuff that like is nice, but you've put like some, I guess like to have a fun way of putting it, you put some stank on the list, which like gives you some like nice little things that are very you, like the tutor ability and all that.
Yeah,
That can give you the flexibility you personally want.
the rebels.
Yeah, like you always sing, she's a bad little, she's a rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it. I don't know if it's ever happened actually on camera. You do it almost every time like rebels come up.
I do. I do. Yeah, peek behind the curtain. I don't know if that anybody ever caught that, but every time I put a rebel into play in play testing or whatever, I go like that. I do that. That's good.
Oh man.
My favorite thing in the world. So I guess that's another question of like looking back. If there were a tournament, if there were a militia tournament tomorrow, what would you bring?
I think if I was like trying to be like a spike, no nonsense, nothing, I would probably bring like some red black artifact list.
Okay.
But if I wanted to bring like what I would feel comfortable with, what I would enjoy most, like to bring to a tournament, it would be Brawlios because I
Yeah.
think I am comfortable playing how it plays, and it would just be a lot more fun to play for the duration of a tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on which is weird. There is a Grixis commander legal in this format, and that is not what I would bring to a tournament. That is
Yeah,
not that is by far on the bottom level of stuff that I enjoyed in this format. It is so much lower
yeah,
than I thought it would be.
yeah. And it's like, I think my favorite thing about this format for me personally is it's made me feel like I can play green in fun and weird ways. Because in like
Mhm.
more like in other like more traditional formats, whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I want to build a green deck, people are like, well, you gotta lean to like the biggest guys and like aggro, or you gotta be like a combo deck with it. And I'm like, I just wanted to ramp a little bit and like do some cheeky shit.
Mhm.
And so that's
Yeah, no.
led to me basically not playing it in any like constructed format outside of this.
Yeah. So what I guess to kind of start wrapping it up, if you like if we had to predict what a meta would be, what type of decks do you think? Because we've played lots of different decks, lots of different strategies. What do you think would be like near the top? Maybe not colors, but like strategies or like decks that you think would be near the top, or you think would be near the bottom?
I think like near the top, like definitely like I would put artifacts up there, like some blink strategies, like could definitely just be like very root one things that can be refined and like play nicely. Hard aggro or like go wide board states, so like mono white, mono red, like just would be a lot easier to pilot and like see the lines for.
Yeah, I think Boros is the best deck in our format by far, by a wide margin. Um, it is straight up undefeated in our channel against other aggro decks, against other control decks, against other mid range decks. I think if you're in Boros, you're going to be doing pretty well. I have that at number one, and then at number two, I have like a artifact deck type thing up there. And then apart from that, I don't really know. Like blue red looks pretty good to me, and
Yeah.
they got more tempo.
Yeah, and you get a good
That
amount of
type of stuff.
flavors of it. Like you could push it
Hmm.
more aggressive, you can push it more controlling, so you can tailor that a lot to what you want to do, which is a
Would be up
good
there.
push for it.
In terms of monocolors, I really believe that mono green is probably the only one that can compete.
I love it.
Um, mhm. But that's what I would expect to be at the top of the meta was like Boros aggro decks, black red artifact mid range decks. The artifact package in black is just really really good.
Yeah.
Blue red um, mid range or control or tempo, something along those lines. Because you have a lot of options. There's that giant that I've wanted to build around for a while,
Oh, which
and
one?
stuff like that. The one that when you deal XX damage, if it was dealt by a wizard, a giant, or a spell you control, you
Okay.
draw a card.
Yeah, that card's
That
good.
one. And then maybe some of the 3 color decks might be a little tier one. I think a Quasar
Yeah.
deck would probably be up there.
I think if you
As
want to
like
build
the
Blink, like Quasar is the way to go because it gives you all three of the
yeah.
colors that get advantage from it, and she explicitly
Mhm.
synergizes from how like a lot of the Blink cards play. Like she can just
Mhm.
slowly or very fast drain somebody out while you're just blinking your value.
It also just gives you the best interactive colors in our format as well,
Yep.
and access to that artifact package if you wanted to draw more cards. And like it just does Quasar does a lot. It's just great.
She's Quasi.
Um, yeah, but that's kind of what I think would be at the top of the meta, and it seems like you agree. Like the red white I kind of combined two of your answers into one. You said
Yeah.
the red decks, the white decks. I said Boros.
Well, yeah,
Um,
it's like I think like Boros and the monocolors of it like are there because like depending on what commander you would
yeah.
want, like it could shift a little bit to either of those. Because like if you do go the
Mhm.
more mono white strategy, you can like get like the buff all white creatures strats and stuff like that in there too.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems tough to give up one of the other colors. Um, but yeah, no, I'm all board to say Boros is like one of the best decks. It's undefeated in our format, and on our channel.
So
How
I'm
long
hearing
have
it's
you been
out to play
recording this?
Brawlios against your Boros, and we've been
Yeah.
recording for 27 minutes just about.
Okay, that seems pretty good. Right, almost at the 30-minute mark. So I'm gonna explain to you guys what's coming up in the week. You just saw the 100th video celebration. We haven't recorded that yet, so hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Um, this week will be a regular militia week. We didn't. We were at a crossroads of if we wanted to do sealed progression or militia, but militia's in our channel name, so we figured we might want to do that.
Yeah.
So this week it's myself on mono blue, Cynet, and Morgan on red green Final
Uh,
Fantasy Landfall guy,
yeah, which I had his name pulled up.
Gladiolus.
Yeah, Gladiolus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Uh,
very nice. He gives stuff +2/+2 and trample with every landfall, and he tutors something out. So like,
so
yeah, it's
tune
gonna be
in that.
nice.
My deck tech on Monday, Morgan's deck on Wednesday, and then the game plan Friday. You guys know what's up. And then the week after this, we will return to the sealed progression series with the Dark and Fallen Empires. But until then, I'm Hunter,
I'm Morgan.
signing out.
I pressed the wrong button.
Do I want to edit that?